Standing at the Oak Stud, Cambridge, New Zealand, Darci Brahma, a 5-time Group 1 winning son of the immortal Danehill. Darci Brahma was a star racehorse, a pedigree blue blood from Zabiel's Group 1 filly, Grand Echezeaux. Darci Brahma, an exceptional stallion prospect. An imposing colt, Darci Brahma was always a star act. In 2004, he topped the Karaka Sales series, the winning bid to David Ellis of $1.1 million. The colt was syndicated amongst a prominent group of New Zealand breeders. The aim, to develop the young Danehill into a high-profile stallion prospect. The bloodlines were superb, an outstanding type. The racetrack ability, sensational. Darci Brahma's race debut attracted nationwide attention.
A chance to buy a colt or a filly by the legendary sire Danehill, who died recently, has drawn a record number of overseas buyers. But perhaps the biggest thrill of the day was provided by last year's sale topper.
David Ellis, and no doubt he'll be huddled around one of the TVs out at Karaka watching this.
And they were. New Zealand's national yearling sales took second place to race 2 at Avondale today, as last year's top-priced yearling, Darci Brahma, made his racing debut. The TAB tent overflowing, potential buyers watching what $1.1 million can do a year later.
But Darci Brahma, a winning debut.
3 Danehills sold today at an average of $433,000. Your buyers will know in a year's time that they've bought a champion. Sean Summerfield, 3 News.
Like the very best Danehill sire sons, Darci Brahma showed absolute brilliance at 2.
1 length over, Be Happy for Us, who runs second. 2 lengths away, Master Regent. Here's the $1 million baby. Darci Brahma is starting to put in right around the outside, out deep as they swing and go. Delanark the inside, and Darci Brahma joined them in a twinkling down by the 300 metre mark. Darci Brahma has swept away. 250 metres to go. Got 2 and 3 on Master Regent, and then Delanark, followed by Danish Council, and down the outside then at the head of the rest is Abbey Drive, but it's all Darci Brahma is going to absolutely annihilate them. Skyward from the clouds, Darci Brahma, the $1 million baby, has bolted in, swept to the front on the point of the home turn, down by the 300 metre mark, grabbed Delanark and company in a twinkling of an eye. And in the space of 50 metres at the 250 metre mark, this horse had the race well and truly in his keeping. He is an absolute find and a half, is Darci Brahma.
A very rare find. The colt's acceleration breathtaking. Adrian Clark, host of the Ford Report, caught up with Rick Williams from the Oak Stud to discuss Darci Brahma's outstanding career.
Let's talk about aspects of the racetrack career, starting with the 2-year-old campaign. It's all important now that he won a Group 1 race, and even better that it happened in Australia.
Well, it was important. I think he was the first horse to win a Group 1 2-year-old race in Australia, first New Zealand bred and owned horse for a number of years, I think about 10 years. It was a big win, and he carried top weight at that time. He was a Group 1 performer, so it was a handicap race, and he won it coming from well back in the field, and he won it very convincingly, and that was sort of the time you'd say that Australians started to sit up and take notice of.
Here's Ready As, and Darci Brahma's coming down the outside. Ready As and Darci Brahma out wide have taken the lead. Look at Demons jumping up out of the ground. Darci Brahma's grabbed the lead. Darci Brahma beat Ready As and Demons. Darci Brahma, the Danehill, the $1.2 million colt, has won the TJ Smith. He was the top weight. He had a wide draw. He's come with a withering run.
He cost over $1 million. Why didn't we see him here earlier in the year for, races like the Blue Diamond and the Golden Slipper?
We're Kiwis. We like being patient, and it's always a good place to develop a horse for the winter, and it's worked out really well.
Our champion 2-year-old was back at 3, big time. Racetrack brilliance matched with a steely resolve.
Kenny Star Fighter, 1,000 metres to go. Delanark, something went wrong there, seemed to collide with the rail, and pin him down, went over and took the lead now, and Dr. Green got up to be second, and now Delanark is third. What went on there, I don't know. The race is on. Dr. Green goes. Dr. Green a length and a half. Darci Brahma's called upon. and starting to come home well, and then Captain Kurt out a little bit deeper. Dr. Green, Darci Brahma getting on terms. Dr. Green and Darci Brahma, the two colts are fighting it out. Dr. Green is finding, Darci Brahma's lunging, lifting, foot the head in front and wins the Guineas. Darci Brahma got it to Dr. Green. What a classic race. Dr. Green, I thought for a moment was holding, but he's tough, Darci Brahma, isn't he? He wouldn't lay down. He just kept on gnawing away. Dr. Green fighting on the inside, but there, Darci Brahma gets the head just in front.
The half mile, I must admit, I don't know what went wrong. I'd have to watch it again.
Strange happenings there by the 900 metres.
Pick himself up after that, and you know, he found a lot today. It was a great effort.
He obviously doesn't mind a scrap. He had to be pretty brave out there today.
Yeah, very tough.
Next up at 3, the Group 2 Wellington Guineas. Once again, class prevailed.
Guinea Starfighter, last as the Wellington Thoroughbred Breeders Guineas go for home. Captain Kurt whipped up on the outside to claim Mega Belt. Here comes Darci Brahma out and after them, and Dr. Green is right down the outside of the racecourse. Darci Brahma found the good kick. He's got away, Darci Brahma, about 2 lengths on Captain Kurt. Dr. Green has come to the end of it, and then Chidak, but it is Darci again today, and Darci Brahma is easy as you like in the Guineas, a very big winner. Captain Kurt second, Chidak third. Dr. Green was next.
Final reality being
the Group 1 2000 Guineas provided the highlight of Darci Brahma's sensational spring campaign.
Time Darci Brahma biding his time at the tail of the field, back with Crusoe and Bravo Star on the centre. They race round the turn for home now, and Poulter heads for home, 500 metres to go. It's Poulter leads the Guineas field for home, a couple clear, and Terry Mosley sends it away from Captain Kurt. Now Darci Brahma bulldozes his way into the clear, and look at him stride out, Darci Brahma, and he's gobbled them up in about 5 strides and went to the lead. Michael Walker says, now just show how good you are. He's the best 3-year-old in the country by far, and by 5 lengths in the Guineas. Captain Kurt and Crusoe, popular trifecta. No, just too good for them. He played with them, absolutely played with them. Darci Brahma, he's one of the great 3-year-olds we've seen win this Guineas, and there've been a lot of them. Horses like Viander Cross and Surfer's Paradise and Kingdom Bay and Altitude.
In the autumn, Darci Brahma again showed his class, meeting the older horses at Group 1 Weight-For Age.
As they come to the home corner here in the Otaki-Maori Weight-For Age, turning and going. Christoph, Darci Brahma goes up to have a look at him. He's fighting Christoph. Christoph on the inside. Walker now goes for Darci Brahma. Christoph the inside. Darci Brahma now he's starting to knuckle down, and his true class is starting to show today. Darci Brahma in front of very brave Christoph tries hard, but he's back on his mettle, Darci Brahma, and Darci Brahma did it today from Christoph Penitentiary.
One of his great runs was coming off 2 very hard runs against Christoph as a 3-year-old in the autumn. He went over to Australia and ran second in the Australian Guineas to Apache Cat, and we know how good that form stacked up to be right up to this current time.
And Apache Cat has had a bit of a breather before the turn, about a length now to Langaza. Then Darci Brahma. Walker edges away from the rails on the New Zealander now. Wider out is Zagotto. Red Dazzler coming deep, and then God's Own. He's pulled right to the outside. Apache Cat at the 300 by 2. Darci Brahma's got him in his sights though, and the Kiwi sprints up and joins the leader, and they're 3 lengths in front. From Spielmeister, God's Own battling only, and Thin and Crispy. Apache Cat is fighting back like a tiger. He won the Guineas from Darci Brahma.
The Telegraph, those that were left still doubting the horse, the Telegraph really got rid of the doubters. I think to run 1-7, to beat Sea Change the way he did, it was an extremely convincing win. And you know, a lot of people don't know, but he did injure his Hawke coming home from that trip, and that's what started the trouble which led to his ultimate retirement. But I thought that was a career best performance, quite frankly.
Darci Brahma goes up, hits the lead. Sea Change fights him hard on the inside. Darci Brahma's in front of the Telegraph and drawing away, and Darci did it brilliantly. Outstanding winner to Sea Change, K's awake. Number 2, Darci Brahma has made them look ordinary the last little bit. Boy, he's powered away from him.
And the time, 1:07.
Great gallop.
And Darci Brahma has answered a few questions after the run-in of the Telegraph.
I think this is the only time, at least in the Southern Hemisphere, that a sales topping colt has become the highest rated 2-year-old and then trained on to be the highest rated 3-year-old.
I think he's right up there with the best of, and just a turn of foot that he shows in his races is just electrifying, really.
His form as a 2-year-old was 1,200 metres, but trying to freshen him up, bring him back to 1,200 against that class of Sea Change and G.I. Jane, I think showed what a really great horse he was.
It'd be great if we can stamp that and put that into his progeny in years to come.
Yeah, I'll be looking forward to training them. He's a class horse, and not many are strong enough and tough enough to win a Group 1 at 2, 3 and 4.
That was explosive acceleration. That last 200-metre kick was something very, very special, and doesn't it underline what a fantastic racehorse Darci Brahma is? I mean, when you consider nearly all his racing has been in Group 1 and Group 2 level, he's yet to run further back than second in New Zealand. He's been hugely competitive in Australia, including that wonderful Group 1 win as a 2-year-old. He is an amazing horse.
After racing at the top level at 2, 3 and 4 years, Darci Brahma went out on top.
2 lengths away, Joker's Wild out into the clear, and behind them K's Awake. Darci hit the lead at the 150. He's 2 clear. K's Awake running on from Munton. Look at Shinzig Storm home out wide. Darci Brahma being kept going. Darci's made it back-to-back Group 1s. Darci Brahma the prize. What a day for O.P. Bosson. The Waikato Draught Sprint, Darci Brahma and O.P. Bosson.
A champion on the racetrack, Darci Brahma, an exciting addition to the Australasian stallion ranks.
$1 million yearling, a racetrack career which netted 5 Group 1 wins and a much publicised stud career announcement. Yes, Darci Brahma has been a headline-grabbing horse from the day he entered the Karaka Sales arena. The race career is now over, of course, but the stud phase is just beginning, and his new home is here at the Oak Stud in Cambridge. Let's find out how Darci is settling into his new surroundings and find out from Rick Williams the level of demand for the horse. At what point of the career did you decide here at the Oaks you wanted to win the right to stand the horse?
To stand a horse at a stud like this, they need to be Group 1 performers and they need to have a pedigree, and he had all of those things, and he just got better and better. I mean, there's very few horses, I can't think of one in the last 10 years that have run in Group 1 races at 2, 3 and 4 and managed to win them at 2, 3 and 4. It's extremely hard, especially for a colt, to stay at the top of his game for 3 seasons of racing. I mean, he had 19 starts, 13 of them were in Group 1 races, of which he won 5 and was second in another 5. That's a tough ask for any animal.
Did the big players in Australia threaten to upset the apple cart?
Just as recently as this year, the Cornwall boys were still talking to me about why the heck they didn't carry on bidding on him and buy him. And I mean, he's a very rare animal. He's the second best son of Danehill to be retired to stud, in my opinion, anywhere in the world. Rocket Gibraltar won 7 Group 1s. This fella won 5. He's got a pedigree. He's got everything. You can tick every box against him.
Let's touch briefly on that female family, which we haven't spoken about.
Well, he's by Danehill and he's out of Grand Echezeaux. Group 1 winning daughter is Zabeel, and so with Danehill and Zabeel, you've got the 2 most influential stallions in Australasia in the last 20 years. It's also, of course, the family of Romany Conti, Ethereal, a family developed by the Vella brothers for probably 30 or 40 years. It's not only the remarkable success the family's had so far, it's what's likely to happen in the future, as you've got, of course, the Stravinsky colt that won Australia as a $2.2 million yearling. She's got a Redute's Choice colt at foot. Her full sister, our Echezeaux, enfold a Redute's Choice. There's Stravinskys, they're being mated, and one of the things the Vellas have done are kept all the fillies from these families, and they're being mated to the greatest size in Australasia. So while the family's had a phenomenal success rate so far, I can only see that increasing in the future.
When was the fee of $30,000 decided, and did the last 2 Group 1 wins make a tangible difference in that decision process?
I think they did. There's no doubt that when a horse can repeat his form for 3 seasons of racing, you've got to respect not only his courage, his class, but his soundness. And he came out and he was decisive at Trentham. He won comfortably at Te Rapa with a little bit of an injury query. And, it just franked his form, and we certainly didn't want to retire him, despite the conspiracy theories. He had a very serious Hawke infection, and as you'll see when you put the cameras on him today, it's only just starting to come down now. So It would have been nice to go to Sydney and gain a Group 1 win against the Australians, but it wasn't to be. But certainly those 2 Group 1 wins I thought made the difference between probably a 20,000 fee and a 30,000 fee.
Darci Brahma. The star continues to rise for this exciting son of Danehill.